For over a decade, we have been talking about what is the difference between a product owner and a product manager. And yet today, there are still confusions in the tech industry on the two different roles, which is causing a lot of confusion in the expectation of a product function, leading companies not seeing the value of product, changing product owners into project managers, and setting individuals up for failure without proper training. So what can we do to overcome this, and why does it keep happening? Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Teresa and I'm a product director based in Melbourne, Australia. And on this channel, we explore strategies and tools that keep inspiring us to keep growing in our product career. In today's video, we are going to go into a deep dive into this controversial topic of the difference between a product owner and a product manager. Where did all this come from? Why is it still such a problem? And how do we progress moving forward in the right direction together? Before jumping in, I started my career in the product space as a product owner, from being a business analyst to a Scrum master and getting my first product gig as a product owner role. I lived and breathed in the world of Scrum and before jumping into the full product world. In this video, I'll be using my experience from both sides. So, where did both of these roles come from? Let's do a bit of a historical time frame. The concept of a product manager has its roots in traditional product management practices and has evolved over several decades. The role can be tracked back all the way in mid-20th centuries when business started recognizing the need for individuals who could oversee the entire life cycle of a product, from conceptual to launch a product and ongoing management. This role was often found in consumer goods and manufacturing industries. Now in 1950s and 1960s, the concept of a brand management gained prominence during this period, and product managers were responsible for developing and executing strategies to promote and manage brands. This concept was still focused on consumer packaged goods. Now in 1970s into 1980s, as technology companies started to play a significant role in the business landscape, the role of a product manager expanded this into the realms of technology and software. Product managers are tasked with not only overseeing the physical production of goods, but also managing software products and technology solutions. Now, late 20th century, with the rise of the software company methodologies and increasing importance of user-centric design and development of practices, the role of the product manager became more focused on understanding the customer needs, defining product features, and ensuring the successful delivery of products. Now in 1990s to 2000, the advent of the internet and growth of software industries further emphasized the need for skilled product managers who could navigate rapidly evolving markets and technologies. The role became critical in technology companies that were developing software, products, and services. The 2000s to now, the role of the product manager has continuously evolved, especially with the widespread adoption of agile methodologies. Product managers are often responsible for the overall strategy, vision, and success of a product, working closely with cross-functional teams, including development, marketing, and sales, etc. Now, if we look at the development of a product owner, it all started with Scrum. Early 1990s, with Jess Sutherland and Ken Schwaber introduced Scrum as an agile framework for software development. The original Scrum framework did not explicitly define the role of a product owner. Early 2000s, Ken Schwaber and other agile thought leaders started emphasizing the need for a role that represents the customer and the business interests within the Scrum framework. The term product owner began to gain recognition. In 2003, the first edition of the Scrum Guide was published by Ken Schwaber and Mike Beadle, while it described the Scrum roles of a Scrum Master and development team. It did not include the specific role of the product owner. Now, into 2007, the second edition of the Scrum Guide, co-authored by Ken and Jeff, introduced the role of a product owner. This version of the guide provided more clarity on the responsibility of the product owner in managing the product backlog and maximizing the value of the product. While the product manager role has more extended history, it's important to know that Agile methodology, particularly Scrum, introduced the role of a product owner to address specific need in the software development process. The product owner's role is more focused on the day-to-day aspect of managing the product backlog and ensuring that developers are delivering value incrementally. Before we move on, remember that the concept of the product manager already existed in the world of consumer goods and manufacturing industries, of managing the product lifecycle end to end. And all they did was this concept just scaled into a technical industry with more focus on consumer needs. So why are these two roles confusing and problematic in the product management industry? Overall, has nothing to do with titles, but both roles can complement each other. However, the confusion and the problem comes from a couple of things from my experience and perspective. First is responsibilities and focus. The product manager is typically responsible for the overall product strategy, market research, customer research, and long-term vision. They are reliable and accountable for the entire product or a significant part of a product. Whereas the product owner has been more of a tactical focus, concentrating on the day-to-day details of the product development, closely working with developer teams, and ensuring that the user stories are well written, defined, and implemented. The problem arises when the balancing of long-term vision versus short-term goals, leading to conflicting priorities. Now, in the world of tech, development teams, especially tech leads, always ask for long-term visions of a product. So they can actually start to plan out what are the technical foundations or architectural things they need to consider to start implementing to allow the platform that the product is being built on to scale and evolve without slowing down the future product vision. In my experience, this has been extremely frustrating and challenging for developers and technical leads. If they don't get those lenses of a long term, then they will start to create a huge technical problem for their platforms and making it less flexible to pivot on strategies, but also it's just not motivating to not be able to see far of where potentially this platform or product is going. Next is stakeholder engagement and collaboration. Product managers typically work with internal and external stakeholders, such as the customer and market analysis, to understand the evolving trend of a market and gather feedback from end customers. They also collaborate closely with subject matter experts in the business to work towards common goals. The product owner focuses heavily on within their team, such as designers, developers, and mainly work with the business stakeholders to determine what does the business want to build next, without really championing for the end customer's needs or pain points. Now, the problem arises when external feedback, such as your customer, clashes with the current development requirements given by the business stakeholders. The business stakeholders only have limited knowledge about the products, mostly around how it should work. But in terms of the customer experience and solving the problems, that is more the role of the product, to work through and bridge that gap. This can cause a significant challenge for your product, as you might misalign the actual problem you are solving for, leading to poor product performance, and as a result, it can negatively impact the business. The next one is lack of product coaching. Now, since the launch of Scrum and Agile Manifesto in 2001, where a group of software developers outlined key values and principles for Agile development, the role of Agile coach emerged as a response to the adoption and widespread of implementing Agile methodologies across various organization types and sizes. Their key responsibility are to train, educate, coach, and mentor teams in ways of working with Agile frameworks, to get teams to practice Agile principles, encourage strong cross-functional collaboration, promote a culture of continuous improvement, and guide the organization through cultural and structural changes to embrace Agile. It's a massive role and highly complex, as you need to deal with a large amount of change and shifts people's mindsets. The problem here is that Agile coach is also coaching and mentoring product owners. Now, at a high level, the coaching is around how to write user stories, how do you prioritize them, how do you work effectively with developers and designers to execute on the work, and how you manage your stakeholders. I have actually taken a certified Scrum product owner course many years ago, and I found it valuable to transform into product in a large organization. It has taught me to expand on my BA skills, which is around taking requirements and user stories to learn on prioritization, making decisions, and working with stakeholders from the point of a product view. Now, I appreciate Agile coaches because I think they bring a huge value to help organizations to structure and cultural shift into breaking down a large complex of project into smaller bite chunks to iterate and validate without waiting for 12 months for a big project to finish and the technology landscape just changes again. However, I think the role is massive to comprehend, to take on the product functions, to go deeper into all aspects of product, like customer interviews, developing short-term, long-term product strategies, visions, market validations, and ways of experimentation and rapid prototyping. Just like they are not trying to coach engineers on how to code with various languages, or coach designers on how to design, and a tester on different ways to improve testing and quality. What they do coach and they go deep on that is very well is the Scrum Master role and the Project Manager function. And yep, I have also taken on a course on the Certified Scrum Master, where they provide very detailed insight into how to run a high-performing team, operating model, team building exercises, velocity tracking, how do you work with POs effectively and engineers to help them break down large work. The lack of product coaching by a specialized expert is definitely missing here, which is causing a lot of confusion in the product industry, but also for developers, designers, and testers, because at one point they would have experienced a product manager that understand more than the day-to-day. But then they'll experience a different product manager or a product owner that is tactical, making the team question what is the role of the product owner versus a product manager. As a result, it leads to not setting up the team or that individual product manager for success. So how do we all form together and push forward in the right direction? So from my experience, here are a couple of things. The first is clarity of roles and responsibilities. Clearly define the roles and responsibility between a product owner and a product manager within your organization. Ensure that everybody understands their unique contribution and focus area. For example, you can split the day-to-day operation, short-term, versus strategic thinking between a product owner and a product manager. That is, the product owner is all about the execution and running the day-to-day backlog, while the product manager is thinking about the long-term vision and strategy and aligning all the work to the business goals. That way, the rest of the engineers and designers will have the right expectation of the two roles. To make it even more complementary, you can structure your teams to have product owners report into product managers. Essentially, product owners are your junior or associate product managers, where the product owner can actually also see a career progression path rather than reporting straight to a subject matter expert within the business function. The second one is product coaching for leaders. We heard and see business leaders taking accountability for product functions or becoming product owner themselves. I highly recommend that you hire a product coach to work with you to shape what a good product management looks like and get a really clear understanding on the expectation for your people, but also for yourself to know what you're actually stepping into. Here are a couple of reasons why. First is the accountability is key here. As a product function, it plays a significant role in shaping the strategy and execution of the business goals. It is important that you get really clear on understanding of what you have signed up for and the level of responsibility you are also getting by having a product function. Next is accelerate your learning with product coaches for you and your team, where these product coaches actually share real-world example, case studies, and practical insight that contributes to continuous learning and development for the team. Lastly is adaptation to change. In the rapidly evolving business landscape, a product coach can help the team adapt to change in the market conditions, technologies, and consumer preferences. Additionally, just like agile coaches, they can also provide structural and cultural shift from a product lens. At the end of the day, seeking expert coaching is critical to the success of your products, people, and yourself as a leader. The next one about moving forward in the right direction, I believe, is high collaboration between agile coach to connect with product coaches. In the world of Scrum and product management, we are ultimately wanting the same thing, that is to bring the positive value to the end customer incrementally and provide a return on revenue for all businesses. So why don't we just work closely together? I don't see a lot of agile coaches and product coaches talk to each other or form a community on how we can build this culture and shift this mindset together. I believe if we can truly build this community, or maybe there is a community out there and I just haven't seen it, that we can truly reduce the confusion and start to build a practice alignment, where the world can look ahead towards the agile practice aligned with overall product strategy, creating a cohesive and integrated approach. Agile practices serves the overarching goal of delivering valuable products to end users, where we are combining a customer-centric focus of the product in the nature of agile, Creating a shared understanding ensures that both teams are on the same page when it comes to prioritizing work and making strategic decisions, where Agile coaches can help product coaches understand the Agile mindset, principles, and practices, while product coaches can provide Agile coaches with insights into the product vision and strategy. Enhance organizations' ability to adapt to change in market and customer needs and business priorities, where Agile practices facilitates flexibility in execution, while product guides the adaptation of product strategies to meet evolving requirements. And lastly, a world of a balance focused on process and product. This collaboration ensures a balanced approach addressing both the efficiency of a development process and the effectiveness of a product being developed. If you find this video helpful or inspiring, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Also, if you would like to share your thoughts on the difference between a product manager and a product owner, please share in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.